A hero stumbles, while the cowards rejoice. Nothing feels better to a coward than to watch a brave guy fall.
Dave Chappelle.
Take your time.
There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on.
Hey, we're gonna be doing about 5 more episodes a week now, so just tell the team and make sure that happens.
3 hours of this, 2 more hours of...
It's like, lady, wasn't your husband just publicly executed only a couple of weeks ago? I've never had this much joy on my...
Dave Chappelle has always been the type who says what everyone else is scared to even whisper, but this time he shook the whole internet without even trying. Out of nowhere, he stepped right into the storm surrounding Erika Kirk and everything tied to Charlie, and the way he did it had people hitting rewind just to make sure they heard him right. Nobody expected Dave to touch this situation, let alone break it down in a way that made folks feel like someone finally said the quiet part out loud. For months, people online have been side-eyeing Erika Kirk, wondering why she's been silent through all the chaos swirling around Charlie. Every time the conversation got loud, she stayed quiet. Every time new details hit social feeds, she kept her distance. And the whole thing felt strange, because Erika is usually quick to speak, quick to defend, quick to jump into any topic connected to her family's name. So when Dave finally cracked the door open, people sat up straight like, hold on, did he really just go there?
Would Charlie have forgiven his killer?
He's in heaven. Dave.
What got everyone shook was how natural Dave made it sound. He didn't yell it, he didn't drag it, he didn't throw dirt. He just put the question on the table in that cool, laid-back way that only he can pull off. But even saying it lightly hit harder than if someone else said it screaming, because Dave's voice carries weight. When he speaks, the culture listens. And this time, the culture was locked in instantly. According to folks who watched it live, Dave didn't accuse Erika of anything. He didn't call her out by name, and he didn't get messy. Instead, he pointed at the silence itself, that big empty space she keeps leaving every time someone brings up Charlie.
Why not be transparent? There's nothing to hide. I know there's not, because I've seen what the case is built on. Let everyone see what true evil is. This is something that could impact a generation and generations to come.
Dave joked about how you can hear a pin drop when certain names pop up, and the crowd reacted like he threw a match into gas fumes. Social media lit up immediately, with people saying Dave just confirmed what they've been thinking for months. Some fans say Dave wasn't clowning Erika. He was highlighting the double standard. Everyone else is getting dragged into the conversation about Charlie, except the one person who seems the closest to everything happening. And to people watching from the outside, that silence looks way too planned, way too polished, almost like she's protecting something she doesn't want the world to see.
He gave assurance to people that Turning Point USA is continuing, and it is. I mean, we are so blessed to have more work than we even could ever dream of. I mean, it's beautiful, and Turning Point Action, full steam ahead. I was there from the beginning of all of it.
But you want to hear something even more insane? Erika is now using the same security team that was protecting Charlie the day he was shot. Let that sink in. The very same bodyguard who was supposed to keep Charlie alive on September 10th is now guarding Erika.
If you were the wife of somebody who literally was publicly executed, and there was a detail that was charged with providing security from them, and they didn't clear a roof, the only roof that would have technically been in a clear line of sight of Charlie, and they literally put him into a kill box, and they allowed him to get executed, and then they completely failed at their job. Why, in what world, what reality would you ever be contracting those exact same security guards to protect you?
But you want...
Dave didn't say those words, but the way he framed it had viewers connecting dots faster than he even finished the joke. And what makes this moment even wilder is how unpredictable it was. Dave hasn't been in the political influencer space like that. He doesn't sit in their debates. He doesn't post think pieces. He doesn't get into their beefs. But for him to suddenly step into a conversation that's been tense for months made everyone feel like something bigger is happening behind the scenes. People were online saying if Dave noticed the silence, that means the silence is loud. Others were arguing that Erika hasn't said anything because she doesn't owe anyone an explanation. But after Dave's comments, even they had to admit the timing was suspicious. From political TikTok to Reddit threads to X timelines, the reactions were instant. Some users praised Dave for being the only one with the courage to mention the obvious. Others said he should have stayed out of it because the situation is already sensitive enough without a legend like him amplifying it.
Then there arrived a moment when Charlie felt that the money was disappearing. He felt that, again, according to sources, that the company was burning through cash too quickly, and Charlie set about finding out why and how this was happening. But it goes.
And then there were people who said Dave wasn't exposing Erika. He was exposing the whole environment surrounding the Kirks, the way narratives get pushed and the way certain topics magically get skipped when the spotlight gets too hot. But one thing is clear. Dave Chappelle made the situation way louder than Erika probably wanted it to be. She spent months dodging, sidestepping, and staying polished. Meanwhile, Dave just kicked the door open with one joke and made millions of people stare directly at the one thing she refuses to talk about. And after that moment, silence wasn't just silence anymore. It became a question all on its own.
So on September 2nd, which is, of course, just 1 week before he lost his life, Charlie surprised the company by announcing that he was putting together a Doge department. Yes, a department of government efficiency like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy had set out to do. Trump won. They got behind him, right? They said, hey, there's a lot of pork. We don't know where this money is going. People are just accepting checks. Again, this is the whole purpose of the Department of Doge. You put us in there, and we're going to figure out how all of these bureaucrats are just wasting tax dollars. Really kind of a nice way of saying we're going to conduct an audit of the government, right? That's the only way to look at what Doge was. It's an audit, and then you cut the fat, and you see where the money's actually going.
After Dave's comment hit the internet, the whole narrative around Erika Kirk took a sharp turn, and you could feel the tension shift like everybody suddenly realized the silence wasn't just quiet, it was strategic. People started digging back through old interviews, live streams, podcasts, and posts trying to see if Erika ever slipped up or hinted at anything involving Charlie. But all they found was the same pattern repeatedly, carefully chosen words, polite smiles, and a whole lot of nothing whenever the conversation got too close. It almost felt like she trained herself to dodge the topic before anyone even finished their question, and that's what made Dave's timing so wild. Because Erika has always been polished, always controlled, always speaking with that calm, calculated vibe like someone who already knows what she can't say. But when Dave brought up the silence, it cracked open the door to the possibility that the silence wasn't about respect, it was about protection. People online started saying things like, why is she the only one who never comments? And it's strange how she's involved in everything except this. The conversations didn't sound like gossip anymore. They sounded like people trying to understand what exactly she's avoiding. Meanwhile, political commentators jumped on the topic instantly because Dave's voice reaches people outside the usual bubble. When they talk, it's just another day on the timeline. But when Dave talks, it becomes national conversation territory. Suddenly you had conservative voices, liberal voices, and independent creators all weighing in, trying to figure out what Dave actually meant. Was he hinting at something bigger? Was he calling out the culture around the Kirks? Or was he simply pointing out something that should have been obvious months ago? The debate became bigger than Erika. It became about image, responsibility, and silence in spaces where everyone else gets questioned publicly. Some creators defended her, saying Erika might be staying quiet to avoid making the situation worse. They argued she might not have all the information, or maybe she doesn't want to speak on something she can't confirm. But even those voices had to admit that her silence keeps getting louder because the longer she avoids the subject, the more people assume she knows something she's not saying. And once Dave highlighted it, that silence felt like a spotlight instead of a shield. Others weren't so forgiving. They claimed Erika's silence wasn't caution, it was convenience. They said it benefits her to stay out of it because speaking on Charlie would force her into a conversation that challenges the polished image she's built over the years. These people argued that Erika has mastered the art of staying in the conversation while not actually saying anything, And now that Dave exposed the pattern, fans are finally seeing it for what it is. And even though Dave didn't accuse her directly, his words made it impossible to pretend the silence is normal. People started connecting this moment to every panel, podcast, and event she's been part of. They reposted clips of her carefully steering conversations away from anything messy, almost like she had a script running in her head. Stay positive, stay vague, stay neutral. But after Dave dropped that comment, those clips hit different. Viewers started saying things like, "This looks rehearsed now," or "She's dodging on purpose." One joke from Dave made people notice a pattern they never questioned before. And then the fan reactions came in, loud, chaotic, and divided in every direction. Some viewers were shocked Dave entered the conversation at all, saying it must mean the situation is bigger than people realize. Others said Dave simply said what fans have been thinking but were too nervous to mention because of how protected the Kirks appear online. And then there were those who felt Dave was being unfair, claiming he was opening Erika up to criticism she didn't deserve, especially since she never asked to be the center of the story. But no matter which side people fell on, what everyone agreed on was this: Dave Chappelle changed the tone of the entire conversation with one moment. After months of confusion, tension, speculation, and silence, he created a shift that no influencer, political voice, or commentator managed to create. His words forced people to look at Erika's silence not as a coincidence, but as a choice. And once that idea took hold, the whole story surrounding the Kirks gained a new layer of intensity that nobody saw coming.